It's 16 minutes after 5 o'clock here on Talk City 91.1, and as we get ready to get into our interview section, I do want to say a very warm good afternoon to all the listeners out there. Those of you on the roads, please take it easy, and those of you at home, well, hopefully you're enjoying the afternoon, and I'm here to take you all the way till 7 o'clock. It's a good mixture of talk, and we have a little bit of music. That's music there in the background from Rootsman, Live Nice, as we get ready to speak with His Lordship Bishop Claude. I had to make sure I play a nice one there from Rootsman. I don't think I could go wrong with that one. Live nice, and I think you would encourage people to live nice. Bishop Claude Berkley, Anglican Bishop, is in studio here with me. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation and for receiving and hosting me.
The church and the budget, not something that we usually, it's not really a perspective that we see frequently, or that we really delve into. But the church and the budget, apparently there's certain things that the church would like to see in the budget coming up, that the budget would address. What are some of the major issues that the church, you think, would
well, so thank you again, and good afternoon to your listening audience. Now, I would say that first of all, a certain equitable distribution of benefits for those who are underprivileged, those who are depressed, those who are marginalized, and as well the way in which the distribution of the national pie, so to speak, what is available, is spread out, so that those who are poor, inverted commas, because that term can go different ways, those who are without can have an opportunity to have. So the church will be concerned about that, because very often when things are tough, people head for the churches to seek assistance, and the churches make the response to the best of their ability. But of course, if that is overwhelming, then that brings a little more frustration. So we would hope that the budget would trickle down, so to speak, to those on the margins.
In a sufficient way in the past couple of budgets?
Perhaps there was an intention, and it is difficult for me to say if it has been done adequately, because I know that we have had a fair share of social outreach programs to seek to address what might be some of the fallouts, but people might have made wrong choices. So I wouldn't go to say that the intention and the methodology was not there, but people might have misused, made wrong choices, poor choices, and then it comes across as if they are not equitably served.
There will be some who would contend that the nation's riches, the nation's wealth, is not equitably shared. I mean, it's not that we are right, so we make the money from gas and oil, and we're just supposed to give everybody an equal share. But in terms of it trickling down, some would say that it doesn't do so effectively. Would you agree with that? Do you think that or do you think that the big wigs get the most of it, and that the scraps are really fed on by the rest of the population?
Well, I would tend to say that there's a difficulty with the trickling down. I do not have some figures or some empirical evidence that would indicate that is so. But given the complaints you hear, the matters that we seek to minister to, the ways in which we seek to redirect people in difficulty, something seems not to be quite right. Although I think there's a great deal of duplicity in the matter, where people seek to get more, and so they might have messed the system up. But I know that there has been an effort in the past. I could detect that there has been an effort to have a sort of safety net for persons who are on the edges. The question of it is, there might be intervening factors which might have interfered with it.
So basically, some who may have been playing the system has made it harder for others to access?
I would say that, because even at the level of the church, you have that kind of situation where, as you know, sometimes you say Peter would pay for Paul. Some people come and fool the system, or you find that they
abuse the system.
Abuse the system. They've been misrepresenting their needs and wants, and then you become a little cautious and you put your back up a little. So the next person coming, you got to put them through so much more rigor, and sometimes you can never know. You just have to operate and trust. You see,
as being a man in the church, an outreach being your thing. Then the ministry that you would be kind of, I would think, keeping a very close eye with the ministry of the people.
Well, yes, and those related
those
gender and so forth.
So how would you then rate the performance of those over the last couple of years, and what would you like to see them, bring out in the budget this time around?
Okay, well, I'm not sure that I'm in the position to give them a rating, but given my new position, I now have another kind of look, because we are collaborators with the government, or the state rather, in the St. Michael's Home for Boys, School for Boys, and the St. Mary's Children's Home. So what happens there would, the allocations given to the homes and schools of that type would interest us greatly, because it is a mammoth task to manage and implement effectively the schools. And by the schools, I mean those types of schools, the correctional institutions,
right,
or the institutions which provide home and family life for those who are dispossessed. The St. Mary's Children's Home, St. Michael's School for Boys. Those institutions, we would want to keep a keen eye on how that has happened. I would say the distribution to the homes has been fair, or a little better than fair, but certainly not where it should be, given the completeness of care that the children require. For example, we are not yet settled on the point of those who have attained the age of leaving those institutions and the resettlement of them. Where do they go? How do we walk them through to a settled life? Much of that happens. It happens between the efforts of the church, the efforts of the people at the home, the managers and so. Very good work, but there is something more that might be needed to bring that into perspective. So we would certainly keep an eye on that aspect to see how that works.
Okay, so we talked a bit about the social issues. In terms of education, any special interest, any special things?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I am now coming here from Tableland in the south, where one of our schools has been relocated. The students have been relocated, and we have heard that there is no intention to repair the school. Now, all of this is hearsay. I must put this in. This is hearsay, because the authorities, which I would say the Ministry of Education, with whom we are partners in this business, have not really said that to us, that they would not be repairing the school. But they have relocated the children, and that has caused no end of issues. For example, the children live in a very scattered area. True enough, the school is a small school, Tableland, but now they have been sent to a school 45 minutes away, 45 minutes driving away. They have to leave earlier. They get back home later. They are in the school with a new group of children, a new teacher.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, that is not uncommon for schools in the rural areas. You know, this has happened before, and I remember a few years ago. Well, that was done. It was Ellswick, and the same setup. Okay, a particular school is not working or not up to standard, and they would just send them to a school that's a couple of villages away, and it was a great inconvenience, and you would never see them doing anything of the sort in any one of the town schools.
Well, you see, that is the thing, and I have a vested interest in that, in the sense that in that way you destroy small communities and small villages, and that is something that we are awaiting an opportunity to discuss this with the authorities in respect of education.
And how hopeful you are that they're going to take you all on?
Well, we are hopeful because we have worked together.
You have to be a man of faith for that.
Well, we will try faith, and when faith doesn't seem to be working, we will try more faith, because the question is that we have a similar intention. Mm-hmm. We all would like to see the development of the children of this land, and more than that, as I said, we need to keep those small communities with what causes them to go around. And so one of the things that has been bandied about is the economics of the thing. Well, education always has an imbalance in terms of economics, because it's an investment that you're making in the children and the communities in which these schools are set. And one of the things that I remember reading for some time ago, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. It's way more expensive than any kind of cost that you might you might think. So that there is that kind of concern, and then you have a little scramble for teachers at the moment in the schools. I suppose you have everywhere in the news it's a staffing situation, right, and lack of repair in the schools. 50 students, right, and one of the things is that you have no money. Not or the economics of the situation. Well, while we would like to have top-class schools, and in terms of building standards and how they look and the ambience that they give off,